Yes, I'm here.
All right. So
Okay, so
about to start.
all right. Welcome everyone to first class. Welcome. Just permit me. I got a bit ahead of myself and I prepared a slide. So let me just share. Allow me to. So let me know if you can see my screen because I'm moving over to my slide. Confirm if you can see my screen, please.
Okay, I can see your screen very well.
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen also.
Okay, thank you.
All
Okay,
right.
to the first
Welcome
uh,
everyone to
class for the software engineering track. Welcome. It's my pleasure to have you on board. This training is brought to you by Dahel in collaboration with 3MTT, and we promise to be exciting. So I'll move to the next. But before I go to that, I was supposed to have my expectation slide. So please let's write those of us that are here. Write down your expectations. What are you expecting from this class, so that we can take note of it. Write down your expectations. Use the chat, or if possible, you can unmute yourself and let us know what are your expectations from this class in general. Just one or two persons, please. Is everyone shy? You don't have expectation from this class? Okay. So let's move on. So it's essential that we understand and follow the rules for a positive environment. Respect everyone when you're in class. Respect your mentor. Respect your co-fellows. Be punctual for your meetings, for your trainings, and come prepared. When I joined the session, Mr. David was asking a couple of persons, do you have a laptop? Do you have a phone? Software development is a class or is a learning track that requires a laptop. So, but at least to be on this call, come with your phones. So please, next time, let's prepare ourselves for the class. And of course, follow the guidelines. There's this the your mentor is going to be explaining to you things he explaining to you his guidelines, how he wants to work with you and what he expects in return. Please follow those guidelines. It would help you. And let's time to meet your mentor, Mr. Cyprian. So, Mr. Cyprian is an experienced software developer with an experience in vast software product model development. He's also a certified AI and machine learning model developer, EC2 Cyber security practitioner, and Google Analytics student. He has developed products in e-commerce, Edtech, Fintech, and entertainment, and custom applications as well as a software developer. So let's make welcome Mr. Cyprian to take over now because your class begins. Thank you so much, Mr. Cyprian. So good to have you here.
Thank you, Faith. Good evening, everyone. Um, I really like this program, but like I always say, when I don't know why people are not taking advantage of this program because these are things that we charge 200K, 150K to teach people, and then you have a situation where the government is providing so much resources, mentorship from experienced people that are making money from knowledge, and then you don't want to come and attend the sessions where you can get vital information. A lot of, like Mr. David was asking some of you if you have laptops. I actually have a solution for people using their phones. There are softwares that I'm going to point you to that you can just use your phones, since you're practicing. You can use your phone to practice. They're effective, they're efficient, but it is only for those that are always coming to the sessions that will get to know this information, and they're going to be ahead with the things that we are going to be sharing. So today we are just going to talk about LMS, which is Learning Management System. So in software development, traditionally every industry has a way that they do things. So with the advent of technology has been able to, make things really easy for humans, and then also improve productivity, which is almost every industry has been able to embed technology into their systems. When you talk about Edtech, which is education technology, which LMS falls under is 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 another system. When you talk about fintech, financial technology, it's another industry that has been able to use technology to, change and offset the way we send money and the way we use money against the traditional way of going to the bank. So today you can just sit in your house. I hardly hold any physical money. People know me like that. I'm always paying with transfer. I'm always paying with card. So I'm that kind of person. So that's how it is. So streaming as well. You can see how Nigerian musicians are in today. They are all big boys and girls against the traditional way of distributing music, which is very tedious. You have to, print these CDs, and then I have to physically distribute them, which is a very tedious way. But now they save more cost. Distributors save more cost. They just have to upload. It's very easy. You record, you click buttons, you upload the music, and then people subscribe to these platforms, and then they pay. There is a split sheet where they pay the artist and all of these things. So LMS falls under the educational system. So we're going to look at how LMS is being used. Some of you have already been learning, and I don't know, some of you have been learning. So for the fact that you are already using the old school platform, that's an edtech. That's what an edtech is. Sorry for whatever sound you're going to hear. I'm in the house. So old school is an edtech. So we are going to look at the advantages of edtech, and the disadvantages. And again, if you watch the video, me, I'm not the teacher. We are just here to, reinforce your learning. You see how we explained the way you need to sign up through the link. After you've been verified as a student, you create your login and then your password, which is a way for you to authenticate every time you want to get on the platform. So there are things we use to build edtech systems. So these things are, so we use videos. There are medias we use to build edtechs. So we use videos. Some people can just use videos, which includes audio as well. Some people use images as well for illustration. Maybe you're just trying to illustrate things for your students, and then audio and then text as well. Some platforms are just text based, where you go, you read, you take the exams, the test, you take the test, and then you get the score. So one of the things I will ask you people as well, one of the things that EdTech has done is, software in generally has done, is the accuracy it brings to productivity. If you were to teach 2 million people, it takes a whole lot of work, manpower, and then there's going to be inconsistencies in data. That's why even till today you see a university school system where people get wrong results, because at the end of the day, this lecturer has not been able to make correct scores, has not been able to give correct score to these students. Some have not even submitted for them to round up the entire scores. So, but with technology, the accuracy of technology is very high, because everything is being automated. Once you write the code, you write the program, you test it, and you test it for accuracy. It's just a repetitive something. You give it 10, it brings 10, The computer does not make any mistake. The computer does not make guess. The computer does not guess. Yes, artificial intelligence is now something that, we are having systems where they guess, they have their own ability to think, but lacking consciousness though. But then computers naturally, they do not guess. Algorithms don't guess. Whatever you write in an algorithm, when you give it an input, it will provide an output following the algorithm steps. So computers are very accurate, more accurate than humans. So we're going to look at what is an LMS. I think I've spoken about it. A case of an LMS is old school that you are using to learn. How has LMS impacted the educational system? Like we said, you can enroll a whole large number of students. You can have accurate data. If you make a mistake on a test, it's accurate, then it's going to just point you towards those areas, depending on how they've programmed the platform. It's going to point you towards those areas that you need to revisit to gain uh, depth to the knowledge, and then you can retake your test. So these are the things that educational technology has been able to bring. You can as well learn on your own, you know, space. You time yourself. Somebody can go to work and come back in the evening and actually take a lecture. So there is no union in learning where it's 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. You can see that this entire session is being recorded. People that didn't attend will actually have to watch it, which is not very good because it's making a lot of people lazy. Oh, I'll just go there and watch it. So um we'll discuss advantages. I think we've discussed advantages, and how we access the resources is by authentication. It's a system. You have authentication, you have authorization. Authentication is just making sure that this person bearing this identity, maybe it's just a password or some biometric means of identification, maybe your fingerprint, your eye, you know, having to use any of those to authenticate a user. And then authorization is about what type of resources can a user have. It's just like signing up, but you don't have a course yet. Then you'd have to maybe make a payment. We have this LMS system where you sign up and then you buy a course. The moment you buy the course, it shows up in your dashboard. So that's authorization. After you've been able to meet certain criteria, you're then authorized to have access to certain resources that is there in the server. Um, do you think it should replace traditional? I don't think it should replace it. So what type of medias can we use? I've already mentioned that text, audio, video, and images. So we use these medias for LMS, for educational technology. So one of the things you should do is always make use of your classes, attend your classes. Whatever you don't know, ask questions. When we come for these sessions, you ask questions. Anything you don't have clarity on, you can write it down. There is this field is it actually helps your intelligence. I mean, tech generally, especially when you come to software development, there's no smart person here, there's no genius here. You always make mistakes. So, because you're having to learn a different standard. It's not your way, it's the way of the system. So once I write a program that you should meet certain criteria or policies to access something, it's not about, oh, why is this thing doing like this? You have to do it. If the syntax of a code or a programming language is that you put a dot whenever you finish a line of code. If you don't put it, you get an error, whether you're smart, whether you're not smart. So here is a place that tests your patience and also teaches you how to follow rules. There are no cutting corners. If you have to do something, you have to be patient to do it. If you have to work hard for you to benefit, you don't actually know other things that the government that's provided such learning platform for you has in stock for you. Some of you, I don't know, but definitely they have plans. So some of you should actually take advantage of this basic knowledge. From here, you're going to fly. From here, if you work hard, there are many opportunities in this field. It is still growing in Africa. It's still growing. Startups are still just on the surface. If you go and Google the amount that has been put into African startups in Nigeria, especially too, you see that technology is having so much attention. And for these startups to work, they need developers, and not just developers, they need good developers. So you'd have to actually learn, you'd have to work hard, and you have to attend your classes, understand the rudiments. If you jump from 1 to 3, you would have to come back to 2. And before you're coming back to 2, there is very disastrous, because you're jumping from 1 to 3 and then you're having to ruin people's projects, or when they ask you to do certain things in your job and you cannot do it, then you're proving to them that you actually skipped certain things. You were just cutting corners, and here there's no cutting corners. So that is that. Oh, sorry guys, my phone stand just fell. Let me reposition it. Okay, so what are the disadvantages of edtech? We'll look into that as well. So one of the disadvantages is cost. For small businesses, having to deploy an LMS is very cost effective. Although now it's very easier, because for us, we have the script. All we can just do is tweak a little bit to customize it to your needs. But it's just a repetitive thing if you have the script already. Another is understanding the system. For people who are just coming in, it will be kind of difficult for you to navigate around such a software program, having to click and then see that, okay, I've completed this module, it has marked good. Where is the test? How do I get my test? How do I click to generate my test result? All of those things are new, but the human brain is smart, so you always pick things up once you keep doing them. So another thing is technical issues. It is the web. So technical issues are things that we cannot ignore. Errors, server errors, and all of those things. Cyber security, you know, attackers are always going to try to just people that do it for fun, people that just want to say, okay, this large system, there is a whole lot of data. They have like 300,000 people signed up. I can farm people and then clone identities. If I can have people's addresses, age, date of birth, and all of those things. That's actually why people try to hack into systems. They can use those things to actually guess your try to log into your bank websites and try to steal your money. So all of those things is one of the reasons. So that's why we will have to also have knowledge of cybersecurity, how to know how to log into systems, know how to navigate, so we can stay safe and keep the systems that we are using safe as well. So another thing is data security and scalability issues. So scalability, normally in traditional way of learning, you, there's actually no scalability. You just register a new student. Once the school session is on, everything is just working. You can actually scale. But in this way, maybe we need to add a feature. Although microservice way of building apps, they do help these days, but if you don't have good engineers, like good microservice engineers, you have issues. So those are inevitable things. I see people panic, like this thing, but it's just the internet. Once you're on the internet, there's going to be server issues, there's going to be errors that you leave, unforeseen errors. You build the entire thing, one person just goes in there and clicks a button, and then here comes one bug. So another thing is that it's entirely dependent on the internet. You need data to access this. You need a smartphone, you need an electronic device, a laptop or a smartphone. So that's kind of a challenge for people that cannot afford it, because normally you can just buy a pen and the paper and you attend your school. But in this system, you need like somebody using that is not using a smartphone is never going to be here with us. So that's a challenge as well. So that's what it is. So you my advice for you is always, you don't need to understand everything. Give yourself time to learn. Give yourself time to learn. Just like the instructions said as well, try to relax. If something is not working, leave it. Sometimes leave the code, go out, have fun, talk to people. You know, your brain will relax a little bit, and then you come back and then you gain more clarity. Attend your classes, do your test, come to the sessions. There is a whole lot of things we'll be sharing here, opportunities, ways of how you can do things easier as well. For those using phones, it's not a challenge at all. So I will just have to drop some of the softwares that you can use that are very easy to use and navigate, that you can be using your phone to just do your coding until maybe you can get the laptop. And for some people, you can use your phone and code, do designs, post out there, get clients, charge them. It can be your first gig that you can use to buy your laptop, or you can start saving from the third gig. You have like 150, 200 to buy yourself a laptop. So it's that's how the thing works. So if there is a question, let's take the question session now. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand, please. Hello, guys. Okay, Elizabeth, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Sir, please, can you
Good
hear me?
evening. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sir, please, I want to ask if, like, I'm studying data analysis too. So I
Okay.
just want to ask if, do you think it's possible for me to, like, study both simultaneously, or do I need to stop one first? Like, do I need to stop the data analysis first? Like, is it going to be a challenge for me?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a challenge if you have so much time in your hand. You can say, okay, I'm studying data analysis from this time in the morning to this time, and then in the evening, I'm going to study software engineering, because at the end of the day, they are not very much that different, because they are always just pointing to data at the end of the day. A software engineer deals with data as well, but if you have other things going on, then you have to make a choice. In terms of career decision, I think Mr. David can advise you better. Me, I'm mostly good at advising you based on software engineering, but in terms of career, I'm not it's not me. So I don't know if
Okay.
Mr. David can help you with that.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Is there any other question, please? You can raise your hand and then you ask your question. Because me, I'm going to ask you people question as well. So
The person that asked the other question, what was our concern really?
yeah, she's studying data analysis, analytics, and then she's also here. So she's trying to know if she can go both simultaneously, or is there a way she can, handle both lectures?
How did she even get here in the first place? Are you not supposed to be in the data analysis group, or was this link pasted in the other group? I love the
Elizabeth,
fact that
Yes,
Elizabeth is.
sir. Okay, sir, it's not 3MTT. Like I'm studying data analysis online, like just an online course. For
Okay,
3MTT, I'm
okay.
under software engineering.
I beg, don't give me heartbreak and headache. Yes, you can combine it really, but you have to make sure that it aligns with your career trajectory, right? So you don't end up being like those people that sell all kinds of things on their WhatsApp status and they are not sticking to one thing. So make sure you ask yourself, where do you want to find your skill set? Which industry or which sector in tech do you want to find your skill set? We have people who move from data analysis to software because they love building products. Okay. And then we had people who moved from software to data analysis because they just wanted to understand how they could analyze their data.
Mm,
Assume, you could have people who build products and then sell it out. We have software developers like that. They are so good with building products, they will just sell it, right? And then when they finally build one product and they want to really get to understand the performance of that product, they end up learning data analysis, okay, or go into data science. So you could choose one, or you could want to like maybe allow one skill set to be an accompanying skill set to the other one. So that's just my response.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, if is there any other question? Because me, I want to start asking questions. Okay, so since there is no question, I'll be calling you guys name, because some of you are just not saying anything. So, Emmanuel, please unmute yourself, sir.
Okay. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so Emmanuel, what is an LMS?
That is okay. An LMS, that is learning management system.
Hmm.
Okay. Although I was a bit confused. I thought you were saying element because someone
No.
also asked the question. Then I had to browse it. Is it element? Is it element? Because I was a bit unclear. If you noticed, I raised my hand to ask that question, but it was after I got clarification from Google. I now decided to unraise my hand. So what I understood from LMS, I think they are basically um is a medium of um how will I even put, can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So what I understood basically is, I think, is a tool that allows you to create, deliver, and also report on training courses. Then you also said something about various mediums of creating or delivering these tools, where you mentioned videos, images, text, and so on. So that is what I have to say.
Nice, nice. But an LMS is just a software you use to learn. That's how it is. Traditionally, if we were to do this session, we would meet physically and sit around the table, But using softwares, we are doing this virtually. So that's just what it is. Technology is using softwares to you kind of, enhance the way people do things. So an LMS is just a learning educational platform. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how simple it is. So you can mute
Thank you so
yourself.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Faith, unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted.
Okay, so what are the advantages of LMS? You can give two or three.
Advantages or disadvantages?
I said advantages.
Okay, with LMS, you can accommodate large number of students. It's LMS, there is accuracy. With LMS, you can also learn at your own pace or learn in a cohort.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
was what I picked out.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Some people are running, you can mute. So, Martha,
Yes, sir.
uh so Martha, what are the components? Name all the components we use in creating an LMS system.
Okay, you mentioned text, audio, video, and images.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, can you shed light that how are they used?
So that is two in one question.
Okay, fire. You don't catch me. You can mute yourself. Godwin, is Godwin there? Godwin.
I'm here, sir.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. So give us two disadvantages of an LMS.
Okay, sir. So you talked about understanding the system, and then secondly, you talk about technical issues, how to detect technical issues.
I said two. Yeah, yeah. But you're not painting a picture of like the first one you gave. You're not painting the right picture for it. So do it well. Answer it properly.
So actually, I was not getting what you were saying, but I only check out the I didn't really get what you were saying. So I was just taking note of the disadvantages that which you say. Number one was the costing and understanding the system, technical issues, and you talked about cyber error.
Fair, 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 fair. That's good. That's good. You can mute yourself. That's good. So blessing, can you unmute yourself?
I've done that, sir.
Okay. So can you give us an example, one example of an LMS?
Example of an LMS, I think EduTech and Fintech.
Can anybody help Blessing? Just raise your hand if anybody can help Blessing out. If you know the answer. So, I have Faith. Faith, you can unmute and answer.
Okay, the ones that you said, though, I might be wrong, but an example of an LMS is old school,
Exactly, exactly, exactly. All school.
and we have Coursera.
Good. Nice one, nice one. So Blessing is old school is an LMS. As you're using old school, you're using an LMS. It's a learning management system. It can be able to track your learning. You yourself can be able to see your courses there, the modules, and take assessment and test and all of that. So that's why it's a learning management system. The old school itself, they are able to manage the students and their data as well. Okay, so 18, we are waiting for you on mute. 18, can you unmute yourself? Okay, so your question is how
Yes,
do
sir.
we so how do we assess an LMS?
So please, I was not. I joined late. I was not online at the beginning of the session, but I'm going to make an attempt.
Good, good.
How can we access an LMS?
Yeah.
First, you need to create an account, I think,
Mm.
and then for some you have to pay, make payment for the course, and then once it's approved, you can start learning. So am I right?
No, 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 no. You use an authentication system, you can it can be your password, it can be fingerprint, whatever system, whatever method of authentication that is being provided, but it's authentication you use. So you use an authentication system to access an LMS. You tried. So all of you did. I give it up for every single one of you. You guys have tried. Keep taking notes, and there's a whole lot I'm going to share. The entire team is going to keep sharing with you to help you succeed in this journey, and also the opportunities out there. We are going to give you everything that you will need. So thank you for coming to this session. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being here with you guys as we keep doing this. So I'll allow Mr. David to summarize.
All right, before I do that, I think for some of them that have started their program so far, we could have your, you could drop the assessments and projects or whatever they need to start looking at so that hopefully next time we can review them and then we start some of our hands-on training going forward.
So Mr. David, I'm done. So you can summarize and then you can. I don't know who is putting up the class, so you can summarize and dismiss the
Did you hear what I was saying though?
No?
Hello? Okay, let me repeat. Faith, did you hear me? And all
No,
of you,
no,
did
sir.
you
I
guys?
didn't. I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me say it again. So I think we have to now start working with sending in the assessment, uh, for this week, so that by the time you join, by the time you meet with them again, you'll be reviewing what they have done so far, and then we can start having hands-on training right away.
Okay.
Hopefully, we want to thank those who have attended this session. You've got to meet your mentor for the software engineering. We are hoping that we cover as much as we can, and by the end of this program, is by the end of the 12th week, you should be very proud that you are actually going to be building something. And just to say that Mr. Cyprian will be working on an LMS platform as well for the health techies. So the fact that we started by you know, talking about LMS and all of those things is because as a firm, we work mostly on live trainings. We've not had an LMS before, but we want to start having building that this year. So if you show interest in developing yourself, you may literally be one of those interns that we may pick to actually work with Mr. Cyprian. If you go to our website right now, everything software for the health tech is Mr. Cyprian. Now in the job our small money. So right. So imagine that you get to learn from him. I've always loved working with him, the urgency of the thing. And yeah, he's also one of those persons that if he tells you, okay, this is how much it is, right? You don't need to argue too much because he knows his job. You would even try and even beg, I beg, manage this one. This is what we have, right? So that is the level I believe all of you should play in. I know that a lot of you prefer offline training, so we are going to make sure that we complement the efforts as well. We've had a particular hub in Calabar. They are some of them are full stack developers. So when you are meeting with Mr. Cyprian during the week or virtually to review your assessments and projects, you would also have time for those of you who need access to a laptop and you want to interact with your colleagues. You would have time to reach to have those type of communication or conversations on Saturdays and on Sundays or just any time else that we are going to be meeting. So it's going to be an exciting period, and I look forward to what you guys will build. Software engineering is a very interesting field, trust me. If you are so good at it, you would never find yourself in a situation where you would look for people would always be looking for you. See that they want to build a website, they want to build an app, they want to build a project, they want to build, people are always building. All right. The software developers are the ones who build this communication or video conferencing tool that we are using, this Google Meet, right? Gmail started as a startup under the Google company. It was just one random software guy that came up to rival Yahoo Mail. How many of you have heard of Yahoo Mail, right? How many of you have heard of Yahoo? Yeah. So good, good, good. I grew up using Yahoo Mail, right? And there's this other one too, Hotmail. Those were really very popular emailing platforms. But when this guy came up and identified some of the challenges of Yahoo Mail, he now came up with the idea of Google having their own Gmail account. Now you also have Google Drive, you have the OneDrive, you have a lot of other products that falls under the emailing future for Google. That's why Google is like the king of emailing platforms. So think about the things you can start building. Think about all of the products, the challenges in your community that you should start putting codes into them. That's one of the things I want to challenge all of you to start doing right away, and you would see yourself building. The funny thing and interesting thing too about software development is if you are so good, imagine all of you here are so good with software development. I can promise you within 5 to 10 years of your building projects and even getting to work with us in the health tech is you will be surprised that one day we'll just surprise ourselves. We build something, and before you know it, investors are coming, they are pumping money into it. That is how this pay stack guy started. Fintech companies, right? Every single day. I know of a friend who built a project like that and sold it to one of the telecom companies in Nigeria. All the apps that you are using, there are certain APIs and certain features that a software developer actually sold that feature or that product to that company. And if you are smart enough, if it's in the financial sector, every time people are depositing money, 1 naira, $1, 50 kobo, 50 cents is entering your pockets. If you are smart enough. That is if you are not greedy to say, Muna, give me the money, nah, my job. But if you are smart enough, right, like some of what of my friends do in the US, you tell them, all right, pay me this amount, then put the rest in stock and options and things like that. So when you hear software developers earning a lot of money within and outside the country, it's because of some of the financial intelligence they have had, the investment opportunities they have had, the products they have built, and how so good they are in building those products. So it's going to be a long ride. That's what I want to add. And I'll leave it like this and allow Mr. Cyprian to give you the tax holiday. So hopefully we can cover week 1 and week 2 since we're already moving ahead. And so we could have conversations on those projects and assessments going forward.
Yeah, so I will drop the task on the group so that those people that did not attend, I will want to see how they will do it, because I know you people can meet up and submit yours very quickly. So the task will be on the group. On that note, I think we are done for today. And like I said, thank you guys for joining. And I think that will be all for now. Bye bye.